Hi guys, and welcome back. Short routine, short weekly routine, same as usual. So join me on the mat. We're going to start off on all fours. I'm going to set the knees directly below the shoulders, and then the hands just a little bit further forward than the shoulders, as I'm overreaching slightly. I'm going to spread the fingers, push the palms into the ground, so the wrists should be nice and open, or reasonably open. If I bring it underneath the shoulder, the wrist will be closing. So I'm going to keep the wrist open, and then from there what I want is to lower my forearms down towards the ground. So I'm going to bend the elbows, and then I'm going to slowly touch the elbows to the mat. Then I'm going to push away, come up again, and then try again. Now the load should be on your triceps, on the back of the arm. The tendency here, if I don't have the strength, is to sit backwards. See if you can think of the hips are staying where they are, or even better, pushing forward slightly. So I'm going to try and drive the hips forward, and then bend the elbows, drop down. Then I'm going to push away, come up. I'm going to play with the distance between the hands. I'm going to play with the position of the hands until I find that I've got a good position, a good movement that is working the right muscles. If I feel that the movement is quite easy, then I'm going to try and make it a little bit more challenging. So I'm going to shuffle the knees a little bit further away, so setting myself into like a half a press up position or half a high plank position. And then connecting through the center, I'm going to lower and lift. Notice any delay between the arms. So the two arms should be coming down at the same time, not one before the other. So see if I can try and control them and then create as even movement as I possibly can. If I feel that that's still quite easy and I feel that I can make it more challenging, I can try the same but doing it on my toes. So I'm up into the full press up position. So lowering and pushing away, lifting. 5, 4, control it down, control it up. 3, remember weight is forward. 2, last one, and releasing back, pushing back into shell, unloading the arms, relaxing the shoulders, so releasing through the upper body. I'm going to try and ease some of the tension that I might have created around the back of the shoulders and the back of the neck. So I'm going to reset myself up on all fours so I can come up onto an open fist this time if it works better for the wrist. And then I'm going to start threading the needle. So I'm going to lift the right hand, and then I'm going to reach into the gap between the left arm and the left leg. I'm going to rotate my way through as far as I can until I can feel a nice stretch going from the back of the right shoulder across that left hip. Then easing my way back, replacing the right hand down with the left arm. I'm going to do the same, rotating to the other side. And then coming back. And see if you can think of a straight back, so you're just spiraling yourself around, you're not flexing. So I'm not trying to put my head under my armpit, I'm just trying to rotate my way. And then rotate my way back. Rotate. And rotate back. 6. 5. 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, pushing back into shell, unloading the wrists, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the arms. It's a little bit more movement through the thoracic spine, so there's a little bit more rotation going. What I want is to try and encourage external as well as internal rotation. So I'm going to try and open as well as close. So I'm turning all the way back, taking the legs around to the side, bring them to the front, coming down into sitting. Finding a comfortable position for the legs so they can be crossed, open, straight, bent, together, bent straight. I can be kneeling if I want to. I can sit on a chair, as a matter of fact. So making sure that I'm able to sit on top of the seat bend so the back is nice and upright. If I'm rounded, the tendency is compress and drop. I don't want to compress, I want to lengthen and lift. So I'm going to pop a block under the hips to raise the hips if I need to, or just to sit on a chair to make sure that I'm sitting straight. Connecting through the middle, I'm going to reach the arms around the rib cage. I'm going to hook the hands around the shoulders. So left hand to the left, to the right shoulder, right hand to the left shoulder. I'm going to give myself a little hug. Taking a deep breath in to prepare, and then as I breathe out, I'm going to start rotating to the right. See if you can keep the hands over the shoulders. I'm going to ease my way back to center, and then exhaling, I'm going to rotate to the other side. Back to center, and then over to the other side. So keeping the movement going, the rotation should be quite limited, quite restricted, but just notice any difference between the right and the left side. So is the rotation stiffer on one side? Am I trying harder on one side than I have to do on the other? See if I can focus on the restricted side. I'm going to come back to the middle. I'm going to cross the arms the other way. So whichever arm is underneath, I'm going to bring it up and then over the top. And then I'm just going to try a few more. So rotating one, coming back, and then rotating to the other side. And then again, noticing if the restriction is still the same, the difference is still the same. And now that I've switched the arms, so for some reason, it feels different. The shoulders are down, the chin is still lifted, I'm still up onto the seat bend, I'm not collapsing back. Two more. Last one. And easing your way back. Then changing the position of the arms. I'm going to bring the arms forward, and then I'm going to lift them up at shoulder height. Keeping the shoulders down, I'm going to take a deep breath in. As I breathe out, I'm going to start pushing the arms to the right, rotating to the right. Following with the arms, following with the head, following with the eyes. How far around can I go? Coming back to center, and then I'm going to try the same thing to the other side. Pushing the arms, turning the head, corner of the eye, looking around, coming back, and then to the other side again. So same as you did on the previous movement, just notice how different the stretch might be feeling across the mid-back as we're trying to stretch the mid-fiber of your trapezius muscles because of the arms position. So making sure that they're not dropping, they're staying up, we're still at shoulder level as I'm turning to the right, still at shoulder level as I'm rotating to the left. One more time each way. And then coming back to the middle. Releasing the arms, I'm going to change the position of the arm one last time. See if I can bring the stretch down under the lower fiber of my trapezius muscle. So I'm going to bring the arms up to the front, and then this time I'm going to try and raise them up. Imagine to be resting your wrist against your forehead, not your forehead onto the wrist, but the wrist on the forehead. So I'm still standing tall, I'm still sitting tall, I'm still lifted. Then taking a deep breath in, as I breathe out, I'm going to rotate to one side, easing my way back to the center, and rotate to the other way. 3, shoulders down. 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep the shoulders down, keep the shoulders down. 8, 9, releasing back, releasing the arms, releasing the shoulders. So a little bit more movement through the thoracic spine. See if I can encourage some through the lumbar and a little bit more connection through the center. So keeping the legs to the front, lowering yourself down. If you're raised onto a block or onto a chair, I'm going to lower myself all the way down until resting onto the back. Bending the knees, walking the feet up in towards you. I'm going to curl the right knee up into the chest and then supporting it with the right hand. Curl the left knee up into the chest and support it with the left hand. I'm going to rock the legs forward and back a few times. Imagine to be rocking your hips away from the shoulders so the back is lengthening down the mat. And then as you feel that the back is in a good position, I'm going to keep the hands onto the knees. I'm going to start to circling the legs around. So just a little circle. Nice and relaxed. The knees are moving together, round and round that circle. So I'm happy with the movement. It feels loose, it feels relaxed. What I want is a little bit more activation through the front of the belly and the hips. So I want the same movement, but without the arms helping. So I'm going to let the arms open out nice and wide, and then I'm going to keep that circle going. See if you can try and work onto the upwards phase of the circle, so when the knees are trying to come towards you, towards the chest. So see if I can really work the hip flexion and then the belly tension to help me curl the hips, to curl the bum up and away from the ground to draw that circle up on the ceiling with the knees. 4, 5, 6, 7, softening the neck, relaxing the throat. 8, 9, 10. Reversing the circle, going the other way. 1, 2. Try not to jerk the leg up. 3, control it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, relaxing the neck, relaxing the jaw. 9. Last one, I want you to pull the knees as close to the chest as you can, making sure that they're nice and centered, and then holding that effort. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See if you can scrunch them a little bit closer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Relax the neck and see if you can scrunch them a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back. Extending the legs away, allowing the front of the hips, allowing the front of the belly to stretch out, to open up, but to relax. And then when you're ready, bending the knees, walking the feet up and towards you. Feet and knees about, hips width apart. I'm going to bridge my way up. Squeeze into the back of the bum. I'm going to drive the hips up and towards the ceiling. Think of the front of the hip opening, the belly staying connected. So making sure that my chest is not lifting, the back is not arching. And I'm going to ease my way down, rolling my way back down onto the mat, one bit at a time until the hips touch the ground. Then squeezing your way up again. And then rolling your way down. So see if you can think of segmental control. Imagine it possible to be easing one vertebra down at a time, from the top of the spine down to the very bottom. See if I can keep the feet relaxed, just making sure that I'm not pulling with the toes, I'm not rolling up onto the toes. See if I can keep the feet flat against the mat and reasonably relaxed and reasonably set.
as I'm rolling down. Noticing any tension into the neck, making sure that I'm not using the neck to slow down the release. I'm trying to keep the neck soft, to keep the top of the chest relaxed. So one more down, pushing your way up into the bridge. And then easing your way down. As you finish with the last one, giving the legs a little walk, making sure that the back of the leg doesn't feel too stiff, too tight, extending the legs away. Letting the feet flop out, hips and knees, the thighs are nice and loose, so reaching forward into the arms, tilting the chin to the chest. Lifting the head, lifting the shoulders, strong through the center, all the way back up to the top. As you reach the top, keeping the legs to the front, I'm going to keep the knees bent, finding the seat rims. I'm going to sit nice and tall over the seat rims, flexing the feet, pointing the toes straight up at the ceiling. What I want you to focus on, same as you did when you were lying down. See if you can think of bringing the body onto the legs instead of the legs into the body. But this time, as you're coming forward into the legs, try not to hunch over. So I'm not trying to bring my chest onto my hips. I'm trying to bring my belly onto my knees. So see if I can try and maintain the extension, coming forward, the hip fully flexed, the belly and the thigh pressing against each other, the chest lifting on top of the knees. I'm going to reach with the hands, grab hold of the feet if I can, holding onto the ankles or down the leg if I can't get to the foot. And then from there, I'm just going to gradually start walking the feet a little bit further away. So I'm going to open up into the back of the knee gradually, but see if you can notice whether you're keeping the tension into the back of the legs. So you're keeping that forward flexion, you're keeping the hip flexion, that forward bend, or it does feel as if to extend the legs, that your body is straightening backwards, is pulling backwards and rounding at the top. What I want is my legs are straight, is for the belly to still be resting on top of the thigh, the rib cage to still be traveling over the knees. So I'm trying to spread myself forward onto the legs, not pull myself back and away. So I might be better off with the knees bent. Holding the position there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release and back. Giving the legs a little shake, giving the legs a little rock. I hope you've enjoyed the little routine. Same as usual, any question, any request, please get in touch and I'll try to get back to you as quickly as I can. Bye for now.